In this video, I'm going to be teaching you how to clean, condition and polish your shoes. This video is sponsored by Trimly. They have a range of shoe care products from shoe trees, shoe creams, brushes and much more. I'll link them in the description. Also, if you like this content, be sure to like and subscribe. The first step to any cleaning is to remove the laces, and because these shoes do not have laces, we're going to be moving to the next step, and that is simply by getting a brush and brushing the leather. So what we're going to be doing is just removing any dirt or any dust that is on the shoe. Now make sure you get down into the welt. And we're going to do that on both shoes. Now the next step is we're going to simply just get some water and just clean these shoes. If your shoes are very dirty, it's just a good idea to remove any mud or dirt on your shoes. Essentially what we want is the leather to be smooth. Remove it with water. The next thing I'm going to be doing is using a leather soap to clean the shoes. Now this leather soap is by Artisan Sons, and the reason we want to use a leather soap is in case the shoes get dirty, just to remove that dirt and grime off the shoes. Now if you're someone who doesn't get your shoes very dirty, that you know you're not outside, etc., you don't need to use a leather soap, but I generally like to. So if your shoes are quite clean, you can just go to the hydrating, conditioning and polishing stage. But for me, I just like to clean my shoes. Now, if you want to try and keep your surface clean, you can just simply get a tea towel. Again, this is non-toxic, which is great, all natural. And pretty much all you need is a little bit of water. And what you want is you want a foam to build. And then just go over the shoe. Make sure you try and get down into the welt. And with these, you just need to be careful of the elastics. And simply just get a cloth and just wipe it clean. Now you might notice that there is some leather cleaner in the welt, and I simply just get a toothbrush and just to get it out. Even some of the stitching. Now after that, what you can do is simply just get some water and just wipe off the shoe. If there's any leather soap on the shoe, you can just remove it with some water. That's probably a bit too much. Just get this cloth again, find a clean side, just and that is how you clean a shoe. Now what I'll do is I'll just move on to this one here. If this leather soap gets a bit dry, you can just place a bit more water in. If you're using leather soap and you're using the same cloth on, multiple shoes, it can start to be difficult to remove the leather soap just because there's so much leather soap on one cloth. Just make sure that the cloth doesn't have too much leather soap on it. And what you can do is, once you're finished with the leather soap, simply just rinse it out with water and just leave it to dry. Now that's finished, what we're going to be doing is going on to conditioning. Now I use two separate products for this: the hydrating oil by Artisan Sons and the leather conditioner. The reason I use two separate products is I did a podcast episode with Jared from Artisan Sons years ago, and he spoke about be careful of leather conditioners that try and do it all. And that's the reason for two separate products, because one is going to specifically hydrate the leather and the other is going to seal and protect the leather. If your leather is looking quite dry, this one is what you should use. This leather is actually looking quite dry, so I'm going to be using the hydrating oil. Now you only need a little bit of it, and what you want is, as you apply it, it's going to soak into the leather. If it soaks in quite fast, you should do an extra layer. Now I was going to get this cloth. I normally would have used this, but this is quite wet, so I'm just going to just use this. You only need a little bit of it. Oops. And just then we'll do it to the opposite shoe. And what we'll do is just let that soak into the shoe. You can wait 5 minutes if you like. After that, what you can do is just simply get a brush and buff it. I hardly ever wear these shoes. They are sitting there, so the leather could be drying out. It's just really important that you make sure you look at the leather, because you don't want it to be drying out. Because that's when the cracking can happen. And of course, this is going to differ if you're outdoors a lot. Your leather can probably be more at risk to drying out. What I'll do now is just simply get a brush and just buff those shoes. The next is applying the leather conditioner. I use this applicator, it's really good. But you can use your hands if you like. Same thing, just get a brush and buff it. Now, to be honest, if you're happy with your shoes, you can just leave them like that. Those three products are really good, all natural. Pretty much, yeah, if you're happy with that, you can stop there. If you want to go to the next step, that would be shoe polishing. And I'll be using a shoe cream for this. This is by Black Boot, and it's a Japanese company. You can use another high quality shoe cream from Sophia. I'm just going to be using this. Trimley stocked this, but yeah, just use a high quality shoe cream. And for this, I'm going to be using a polishing cloth to apply it. You can use a cloth if you like. This one is from Trimley. You need a little bit. Now the shoe cream is, if you have any scuffs, scratches, the shoe cream can help put that color back into the shoe. Now with the heel, you can actually just get it, you can get edge dressing for it. Previously I've just used dye. I used to do leather work, so I have dye that I would just stain into the heel stack. But what you can do is actually just get polish as a sort of a cheaper option and just polish in that heel stack if you like. And I'll just let that soak in, and I'll do the opposite one. And once you finish, what you can do is just use a brush and buff that in. And that is how you clean, condition, and polish your shoes. The next step is actually using a shoe wax to polish the heel, the toe and the heel if you like. But if you want to obviously go to the next level, that is using a shoe wax. This video is not talking about shoe wax. It's just mainly how to clean, condition, and polish your shoes. That's probably for another video. The next step is how to maintain your shoes long term. Now this is something that I'm very passionate about. Of course, shoe trees are a great way to maintain your shoes because you get creases in your shoes as you walk. Your heels are going to be wearing down. You're going to get scuffs. You're going to get scratches. Well, you most likely will get scuffs and scratches. So knowing what to do when that happens is very important to help your shoes last long. Now, I actually have a video on this, how to maintain your leather shoes, that you can see. If you're really interested in really taking care of your shoes, you should watch that video. Also, be sure to like and subscribe, and hopefully your shoes look nice and clean and polished after watching this video.